Well, good morning, folks, and welcome back to Tollymore. Bit of a lazy one this morning. Well, I say lazy. One of the challenges of travelling on the road, as I said in my vlog a couple of days ago, is power consumption, especially this time of the year. So even though we've got solar, it can be a bit of a challenge. So spent a couple of hours in a cafe getting things charged up. Another reason why I did was because I knew it was going to be sort of quite a bright. It wasn't going to be anything particular from a sort of woodland misty sort of feel to the morning. So I think today's conditions are going to be a little bit more challenging. But that's okay. At the end of the day, we're really just out for a bimble and the autumn colours. Yeah. In Northern Ireland, want a little bit of your autumn fix? Get your backside down to Tollymore over the next couple of days. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Now, as I made my way back to the van last night, there was a stunning bit of light just streaking right the way across from the western side of the moorns, illuminating some of those lovely trees. So a little bonus capture. And I think one of the things that once again has been laid home to me by doing these 30 days creative is I'm getting out, and by getting out you're able to capture the little moments, those little moments that would otherwise be lost. So that was quite a nice little treat. So we'll take a bit of a wander, and as always, seize what we can seize. Let's go. Welcome to Foliage Bridge. Now, I'm not going to get the camera out here. A couple of reasons. One, I have shot here before a number of times. Two, there are a couple of other photographers obviously down there. It's a very popular place, so I want to give those guys as much space as possible. Now, the position that I was in can be so kind of, I guess, left or right, depending on where you're coming from, but I think there's an optimal side of the bridge that you can kind of shoot on because you're shooting more into the foliage. Irrespective of what side you shoot on, I think one of the challenges that you're faced with is most of the light in the autumn season, because of the sort of height of the sun, is up in the foliage. Bridge, not so much. I think personally, where this sort of location shines most is if you have a bit more cloud cover, a bit of a stronger sunlight over on the east, and a bit of reflective light coming in just to sort of illuminate, rather than sort of bright highlights at the top. But come here, still a fantastic place to shoot. We'll wander across to the other side and show you the viewpoint from there. Right guys, well here we are across the other side of the bridge now, and it's rush hour traffic with all the other photographers. As you can see, a very popular place to come. But on this side of the bridge you do have the option, or so I think a better viewpoint, because there's more options to remove a lot of that bright sky. But as I said earlier, I think actually where this works best is if you have a little bit of reflective light coming in. There's not a huge amount of cloud cover above, so we're not getting a massive amount of reflective light, but still, as you can see, a really beautiful place to come in, as I have been doing for the last half an hour, even just have a natter. Maybe I will take a picture of Foliage Bridge maybe just not the typical one that gets taken. So I'm back across the other side of the river that isn't great whenever you're down low taking a picture of foliage. But the autumn colour in this area is absolutely beautiful. Just so many different vibrant colours. Now the light has just got quite strong again. There's quite a few sort of specular highlights. But I brought myself kind of about, I don't know, 100 yards or so away from the bridge, and just looking back towards it, there's, well, what really drew my eye first of all, down to my left, your right, lovely moss coloured bank, and I was sort of looking to maybe take a picture of the sort of the little sort of gnarly tree and the autumn leaves. But again, just like yesterday, one of the problems with facing that way, quite a lot of it's backlit, and it can have its own issues. So I then sort of turned around and looked straight up, and we've got a lovely sort of curving pathway, a little nod to Foliage Bridge in the background, but mainly just about a lot of the sort of gnarly sort of curvy trees. Now I haven't quite settled on a composition as yet, trying to sort of just see what works best from those gnarly tree perspective, but surprised myself. Maybe I will actually take a picture of Foliage Bridge after all. But no, this is beautiful. I think this little area here is probably one of the best areas I've seen in Tollymore, for a mixture of those autumn colours, but also lovely big gnarly trees as well. So I'll carry on, maybe trying to fine tune this composition, and if I get something, I'll throw it up. So the conditions, I would say, are actually improving. We now have a very light covering of cloud, which is providing a lot more even lighting throughout the woodland. So now I think as the afternoon progresses, that cloud cover is supposed to get a little bit thicker. But right now, you can just about see the sun through the clouds. But as I say, back now to where I wandered down the river and sort of wandering back up to where I was shooting before, the little sort of small scene of Foliage Bridge is a lot more evenly lit, but there's enough light coming through that there's still light and shadow on those trunks, and enough light coming through to just give a little translucent nod to the leaves. So certainly now is pretty ideal from a lighting perspective. So we'll go see whether we can find another image. So just walking past another scene here, and what really drew my eye was big old gnarly kind of moss covered branches really reaching over. Now the leaves up in those branches look like they've seen better days, but cascading down from a tree beside the big old gnarly one is a lovely kind of golden sort of flow of leaves. Still don't think it works, and I think mainly because it all has to do with how the dynamic range of our eye versus the dynamic range of the camera. Now of course I can do a 3-shot exposure bracketed image, but I'm just not sure. Little flashes of colour throughout the image, but it's mainly the big gnarly sort of branches of the trees, and I think if I really want to include most of those in the frame, I'm really pointing up into the sky, and even though a lot of the foliage is covering the sky, it's still kind of poking through. So I'm sure you hear photographers talking all the time about doing edge patrol, and I'll show you why that's important if we flick over to the in-camera view. Now this is a 16:9 format, so slightly different, but if you see up in the top left hand corner, there's just, if I can just get my finger in here somewhere, look, just here, up. So that's creeping into the scene, and that's obviously much closer to me, so it's out of focus. So then I think, well, I'll just get that out of frame and I'll move it to my right, and all of a sudden we're introducing some of the leaves here on the right hand side as well. So it's always important just to do that little edge patrol, and in fact it did catch me out because I as I said before, I love that kind of cascade of yellow and oranges, and I was trying to get a frame of just those with a lot of those gnarly gnarly branches in the background, but there's some of that upper branches which are much closer to me that are getting in the frame, so always worthwhile doing that little bit of edge patrol. Right, so what I'll do is I'll throw up a couple of different sort of frames that I've shot from here. Not quite sure any of them work, to be honest. I think it's a combination of things, mostly because again I'm shooting into the light and I'm just not too sure how that's going to come out. But I really like that cascade of colour and those big gnarly trees, so always worthwhile getting the camera out, even if the final image isn't really going to be up to much. But I'll throw these couple of compositions up and then we'll wander on. Getting hungry. Might be time for lunch. Right, let's go. Getting off the path a little bit, and I just spotted now, probably by the time I get up here it's going to be gone, but a little sliver of light coming through against the trunk of a beech tree, autumn colours on it. Ooh, the light's still playing ball. Well guys, I reckon for at least this vlog, that's going to be it for the day. Oh, that's quite nice. A cliche little kind of winding path. Archway of lovely autumnal colours. But yeah, I think that's probably going to be it for today's vlog. I'm going to actually head back to the van and grab some lunch. Not sure whether I'll come back in here again after lunch, but this has been beautiful, really, really nice. And if you're able to get down into Tollymore, then I would certainly advise coming down, because I think you'll really enjoy the autumn colours. Right guys, I guess I'll throw up a couple of little iPhone-y sketches that I've been mucking about with throughout the morning. And we'll catch up again tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.